The Champions League semifinal is upon us, and guys, I'm so excited. This is going to be an incredible couple of weeks. And I think ultimately the four best teams in the tournament are where they need to be. I don't think anybody got here by luck. I don't think anything was undeserved. I think these are the four best teams throughout the tournament. And look at the matchups. You kind of have a clash of ideas, right? On the Barca PSG side, you have Barca super attacking, super aggressive, and then you have Inter who are more measured, more calculated. So not to say that Barcelona are not calculated, but Inter are more of a, we can defend, we'll soak up pressure, break on you, that type of play style, right? And then you look at PSG, Arsenal, it's the same thing on the other side as well. PSG super attacking, super fast, super bang, 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 goals. And Arsenal a little bit more measured, a little bit more defensive, a little bit more calculated in the way they attack, So it's tough to call, right? But I'm glad we got these two matchups on either side. Like we wouldn't have wanted to see Arsenal versus Inter. Like it wouldn't have been a good matchup, right? It would have been a little bit too tactical, too slow. Nah. But this is a little bit more interesting for me, at least. That's the kind of football I like to watch. Barcelona, PSG play the kind of football that I like to watch. Inter also to some extent, but mostly Barca, PSG. Now, in terms of who I think is going to win the tie, let's break it down a little bit. Let's go Barca, Inter first. Now, Inter have had a rough couple of weeks, right? Losing to Bologna, losing to AC Milan in the Coppa Italia, and then losing again to Roma. 3 losses in a row. I think they've lost 3 games in a row in I don't know how many years. I don't. It's been a while since I've seen Inter lose 3 straight games, right? So they're coming into this game with the worst possible form at the worst time of the season. They have injuries. Obviously, Thuram is out, so he's probably going to be Arnautovic or Taremi up top with Lautaro. It's going to be tough, right? I think before the Bayern game, Inter only conceded 1 goal. Or was it 1 goal the whole group stage, and they conceded maybe a couple since then. But they've only conceded 1 goal throughout the whole group stage. So they have probably the best defense left in the Champions League. Them and Arsenal is a toss-up. But one thing that I will say Barcelona has the advantage in is energy, right? Obviously, the match against Real Madrid, going extra time, drained a lot of their players, right? It's going to drain a lot of their players, but they have a lot of young players. And one thing about young players, they recover faster than older players. With Inter's an old team. They're a very, very old team. Probably the oldest team, I think, in the whole tournament out of the 32 teams. Probably one of the oldest teams in the whole tournament, right? And they're not a very pacey team. So Inter cannot allow this to be a transition game. So they're probably going to have to sit back a little bit more and soak up pressure for large periods of the time and then try to break on Barcelona. But the thing about Barcelona is they recover so fast on the break. So it's tough to see how Inter are going to win this game. They'll have to win this tie on their defense. They cannot out-attack Barcelona. They don't have the energy levels. They don't have the youth. And they also don't have the firepower to keep up with Barcelona, right? A lot has been said about the high line. You can find ways to break on Barcelona. You can find ways to get chances against Barcelona, and Inter will get chances against Barcelona. They will have chances, right? But I think that Thuram miss is a huge miss because now you're putting all your goal scoring pressure on Lautaro. And yes, he scored against Bayern, but he has a history of in the biggest moments not showing up. Champions League for Argentina, you put a lot of pressure on one guy. Right? It's tough to call. A lot of it is favoring towards Barcelona. They haven't lost a game, and I don't know how long it's been since they lost a game. The Dortmund game is a loss, but it doesn't really factor into the entirety of the 2025 because they didn't need to win that game. They could have gone there, lost 3-0. It wouldn't have mattered to them. They just went there to put bodies on the pitch. They weren't going there to win the game. So it's tough to call, but I think the midfield is where this game is going to win and lost. Pedri, Frankie, and probably Dani Olmo against Mkhitaryan, Barella, and Çalhanoğlu. You have looking at 2 quality midfielders. I think the weak link. I don't want to say weak link because it sounds disrespectful, but Mkhitaryan, how is he going to fare against because he's going to play more on the left side, right? How's he going to fare against Frankie or Pedri? Sometimes coming on that right side. The energy levels they have, it's a lot to ask of him at this age, right? And you don't want to bring in Fratesi. I don't know if Inzaghi trusts Fratesi. I don't know if Zelinski's out, but I don't know if he trusts him. So it's probably going to be those three. It's just a very talented, very technically gifted, very energetic Barcelona midfield, which that game against Madrid might have drained them. So it's tough to see what we'll see on Wednesday. But I'm going to go with Barcelona. I think Barcelona have just enough. It's crazy to say just enough, but I'm factoring in that extra time result against Madrid heavily on this game. I think they'll have just enough in the tank to be able to crawl over at least the first leg, and then probably in the second leg, really be able to put for that energy and take out Inter. So I think it's not going to be. I don't want to say it's not going to be, but I don't know if Barcelona can just blow them out the water. Right? This is an Inter team that's very defensively strong, very tactically sound, but we did see AC Milan blow them out the water. So there's no telling what Barcelona could do to them. And I think they're just playing them at the worst possible time of the season. This is not the time you want to face with Barcelona in a knockout phase stage. Now, Arsenal, PSG. This is I think the more intriguing matchup. I think I can confidently say that Barca are going through. I feel confident in saying that. I don't feel confident picking a winner in this tie. And for a lot of the reasons I mentioned, Barcelona and their energy, their attack is the same thing you see with PSG. You have two demons in Mendes and Hakimi as your fullbacks, just running up and down the pitch. They'll go past you and they'll recover against you. You have Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, Barcola, supremely talented attacking options. You look at Arsenal, it's really all Saka, right? We're not going to put Marino or Trossard or Martinelli anywhere near those four names for PSG that I just mentioned, right? They're not anywhere near the quality of those guys. You look at the midfield, Vitinha, Neves, Ruiz, quality midfielders going up against Rice. I think Marino's going to play in midfield because Partey is suspended. So, and Odegaard. It's a very balanced. I'll probably give the edge to PSG in terms of technical. I wouldn't give them the edge in energy, which is something that Arsenal are really known for. They're aggressive, they're energetic, but so are PSG. Maybe just not as much in the midfield, but they're very energetic. They're very young, very attacking, very aggressive. Where do Arsenal win this game? I'm trying to see where Arsenal. I think the defense is gonna be key because they can't go toe to toe with PSG. PSG have too much energy, too much firepower for anyone to go toe to toe with them, except for Barcelona. Barcelona's the only team that can match them energy and attacking, verve. It's the only team that can match them. Looking at Luis Kelly against Kvaratskhelia or Doué, they all rotate, so he's going to go up against all of them at some point in the game. He's been incredible, but this is the ultimate test. I know people looked at the Madrid game and how they battered Madrid and thought, this Arsenal team is so. Yes, there was an incredible performance over two legs, but Madrid are terrible. They are a team of individuals. They do not have any kind of cohesion, any kind of coaching. They just go out there and play and go off vibes. So I think if PSG would have played them, if Arsenal would have played them, if Inter would have played them, everyone would have beat them, right? So I don't take too much into that result, but I do give them credit for that. That was an incredible performance. In this game, in this tie, I always say attacking teams have the edge, right? We've seen Atletico Madrid in the past go to finals, and ultimately it can't win you games. It can't win you the biggest games, right? Or maybe it can, but generally it doesn't. The attacking team always seems to win these types of games. And I think that's what's going to happen again in this tie. It would be nice to see a Premier League team win the Champions League. Just it boosts the stats of the league. But as a Liverpool fan, I do not want to see Arsenal win the Champions League. And this is not rooted in any kind of bias of me thinking, oh, I don't want to see Arsenal win it. I don't want to see. I just don't think they're better than PSG. You know, throughout the course of the season, I don't think they're a better team than PSG. I think this is a tie. These are two ties where attacking options win you the games. I don't think you can just crawl your way and bank on your defense to bail you out. I truly don't believe that. And I don't think we saw what PSG did to Liverpool. Arsenal are not better than Liverpool. If they can do that to Liverpool, they can definitely do that to Arsenal. Right? Arsenal have a better defense. You know, they're a little bit more defensive, but they can still create chances and score goals. They have great attacking options. So it's going to be tough for Arsenal. I think Arsenal and Inter go into these games as underdogs. Honestly, that's how I see it. Because of the attacking prowess of the teams they're coming up against, Barcelona and PSG. So that's what I love attacking football. I think attacking football will always win. And it's not just attacking football in the sense of they have great attacking players. They have great managers. I think out of all these four managers, I would give the edge to Inzaghi as the best manager, you know, as a whole. Probably Inzaghi, Enrique, Flick, and then Arteta in that order. Right? But the two defensive-minded teams that are coming into this semis, I don't think they have enough to hold out the attacking teams, right? And neither of these teams want a situation where, like, Barcelona score first or PSG score first, and Arsenal have to chase the game. You don't want to chase the game against PSG or Barcelona. The best outcome, I think, for these two teams is Inter or Arsenal score first, and you can kind of play into your style of play a little bit more defensive and soak up pressure, maybe hit them on the counterattack, and, you know, hope for a 2-0 kind of result. But if you let Barca or PSG score first, I think it's good night. I really believe that. I really think if they score first, the ties, I don't want to say over because that's too premature, but both of those teams don't play the kind of football where you chase games. They don't chase the game kind of football. Also, don't create enough quality chances to be able to play that kind of football. So yeah, PSG, Barcelona over the two legs, and we have a PSG Barcelona final. I would love to see. I'm not confident in these predictions. I'll be honest with that. I'm not confident. This is not 100% guarantee. It's a toss up, but I'm leaning towards the more offensive-minded attacking teams. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like this video, leave a comment below, and I will see you guys very soon. Also, when you walk, Liverpool won the Premier League, and nothing bad can happen this week. Nothing can derail my week. I've had the best 2 days. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. See you guys soon.